Oh my god. Wave 5 looks amazing. Now, I'm not just saying that to hop on the bandwagon because everyone's gassing up Wave 5, but I genuinely thought Wave 4 had no chance of getting topped, and this wave actually might become my new favorite wave, even 5 waves into Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So in this video, we're going to talk about the new tracks coming into Wave 5 and how great I think they're going to be. So without further ado, let's start giving her, bud. Kicking off the Feather Cup, we got Athens Dash. What I really like about the tour tracks is that they feel like completely new tracks for me because I don't play Mario Kart Tour. And even though I played the first variant of Athens Dash, I don't really remember the track that well. So I'm essentially going into this track completely blind. Add on to that, the footage we got for Athens Dash is pretty minimal. So there's not really much to talk about here. But from a visual standpoint, I think the road looks amazing. It almost gives off dry desert vibes, but without the sand part of the road. It goes without saying Athens Dash is going to get the Mario Kart Tour treatment where every lap you're going to take a different route. And it's pretty obvious here because as you're tricking off these ramps, you go down to take a right. And I would assume either on a future lap or the lap beforehand, you would be driving in the opposite direction. We can also pick out that after going off this glider ramp, you would take a left turn. And that's where you then trick off of these ramps where you're in the air for quite a while, actually. Like I said, though, not a lot of footage to really grasp how good this track is going to be. And I don't really want to spoil myself by playing Mario Kart Tour if I can even find the track on there given how wonky the game is. But at least in my opinion, the Mario Kart Tour tracks have only gotten better over time, with all of the Wave 4 city tracks being in my top 3 city tracks in the game. So if that trend continues, I'm sure Athens Dash is going to be a blast to play online. Next up, we got fan favorite Daisy Cruiser from Mario Kart Double Dash. Now, I'll be honest, out of all of the tracks we could have gotten from Mario Kart Double Dash, this isn't one I was particularly looking forward to, but that's not to say I dislike the track. I just think there's a lot of really cool tracks in Mario Kart Double Dash that I would have preferred to see over Daisy Cruiser. In any case, I'm looking forward to seeing how it plays in this game. From a visual standpoint, it looks really nice, especially inside the cruise ship. And even in general, the graphics on this track are just really well put together. It's also going to be fun for me because it's been a really long time since I played this track. I haven't played Mario Kart Double Dash that often at all, and it's been a long time since I played Mario Kart 7. So even though I mentioned earlier that I would have preferred other Mario Kart Double Dash tracks, I am totally open to the idea that I'm not giving this track the credit it deserves. So for that reason, I really hope that it is a thrill to play online, and I can absolutely see that being the case. A lot of people are thrilled to see this track in the Booster Course Pass, and I imagine that's for a pretty good reason. To say I'm excited for this track is an understatement. I did not see Moonview Highway coming, and I was so gassed when I watched the trailer for the first time. This is by far my favorite car track in Mario Kart. It's super fast-paced, it's challenging, and overall, if you know what you're doing, it's a complete joy. Now, this could just be my big-time Mario Kart Wii nostalgia talking, because that was my first Mario Kart, and I fell in love with it and the tracks. But I have a really good feeling that this track is going to be the show stealer of this wave. I will say though, from taking a look at the trailer, there aren't as many vehicles to avoid like in Mario Kart Wii, which given how challenging the track was back then, I can understand that. But I think as long as there's a moderate amount of vehicles to avoid and the bomb cars aren't really annoying to deal with online, this track is going to be a blast to play online, and I cannot wait for next Wednesday. And now we got the bathroom track, Squeaky Clean Sprint. Obviously, this was the one track we got to see before the big trailer that released yesterday. So I won't dive into too much analysis because you guys already know what it's all about. But I will say, I think it's really cool how part of the track is driving down the drain of the bathtub. Maybe I'm gassed up a little too much because of this, but I just think it's a really cool concept. And for a darker underwater section, I think it will be awesome. Now, I will say, if this track turns out to be really good, it better not get the same treatment as Yoshi's Island online. Maybe it's just the people I hang out with online, but I'll tell you what, there are too many people who don't like Yoshi's Island, and it's so uncommon in competitive play, and it really upsets me because that track is awesome. So guys, if this track turns out to be great, please pick it. Don't turn it into an undeservingly uncommon track. I've seen this treatment one too many times with Yoshi's Island. I do not want to see it again. Moving on to the Double Cherry Cup, we got LA Laps. Like all the other tour tracks, I don't really know much about this one. I've never played it before in Mario Kart Tour, so I'm going into this blind, but I am very excited for it. I mean, we haven't gotten a single course with any kind of beach since Animal Crossing, more notably Cheep Cheep Beach. The footage we have seems to put a lot of emphasis on the beach section, so I imagine we're going to go through it for at least 2 of the 3 laps. I can't really pick out how the routes are going to work because I assume there's about 3 variants of LA LA laps. But from the beach section alone, this track looks insanely fun. And if that same vibe is across the entire track, I mean, we could be in for a beauty surprise. So for that reason, I really hope LA laps doesn't disappoint. I know that's a pretty no-brainer thing to say, but for a tour track, this one could be the best one yet. Alright, this is the only track in Wave 5 where if it turns out to not be that good, I will not be surprised. Ladies and gentlemen, Sunset Wilds. This is one of very few GBA tracks in this game that didn't really get much of a glow up. I mean, the track looks great. There's no two ways about it. But for GBA tracks, there's usually a lot that will have changed. This Sunset Wilds looks pretty faithful to the original. And while visually it has the same vibe as Calamari Desert, which is great, I gotta be honest, I think this track is gonna be just another typical bagger. I don't know. This track is giving off desert-themed Donut Plains 3 vibes. And if you know me, you know I hate Donut Plains 3. We really don't need this track. Like, why are we here? So you can imagine I'm not too thrilled about this, but if it turns out to be better than I'm giving it credit for, then hey, I'll be happy. All I'm saying is I won't be disappointed if the track turns out to be not good. Next up, we got fan favorite Koopa Cave. This is probably an unpopular opinion, but knowing that this track was very likely going to be in at some point, I wasn't really excited about it. I don't know. I have a soft spot for a lot of Wii tracks, and this track just wasn't really one of them. But seeing it now, I can say I am super excited for it. Looking back now, I thought this track was pretty great in Mario Kart Wii. I think it was actually just the Mario Kart 7 variant that made me feel a little about this track coming into 8 Deluxe. Because the Wii version is way better. And even though we can tell the shockers from Mario Kart Wii aren't coming in, I think the half pipes and the underwater section being an anti-gravity will do the trick. Add on the general physics of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I think this track will be great in this game. Overall, Koopa Cave is a great track that I did not give it enough credit for up until today. So with that said, I am super excited for this track. As a proud Canadian, I am super excited for Vancouver Velocity, the final course in Wave 5. Even though I've never been to Vancouver, I think this track looks phenomenal. Of course, it's a city track that I have not played, so I don't know what to expect, but a lot of my friends have been gassing up this track as the best city track in Mario Kart Tour, so my expectations are very high. But what's great about the tour tracks is it's a new experience for everyone because of how Nintendo mixes and matches the different variants. I think they know a lot of people are looking forward to this track, so they also know not to mess with it too much. Either way, it looks great. I'm sure they're going to do a great job with it, and it looks like they did, so I'm looking forward to it. Next Wednesday can't come any sooner. All things considered, Wave 5 is shaping up to be the best wave yet. 8 new tracks, 3 new characters. We could see a meta change again. We could see a new item. We could see some crazy things happen. And we're all going to experience it next Wednesday. And I could not be more thrilled. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about Wave 5, what tracks you like, what tracks you don't like, anything you might have been surprised by. The list goes on. Long story short, we are in for a treat next Wednesday. And for all we know, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe could change forever again. On that note, until next time, thank you so much for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic day and keep on giving her, bud.